A is the initial amount. Then in parentheses, you'll have either 1 plus the rate or 1 minus the rate. R, this is not on here, so we'll add it in. R is the rate as a decimal. That's important. It's going to be given to you as a percent, so you'll have to swap it over. If this feels familiar, you did do this in Algebra 1. 1 plus R is called the growth factor. So if it's adding, because that would make the base, or the base would have it greater than 1, like we talked about yesterday. If it's 1 minus R, it's called the decay factor, because the base would be, that's a typo, sorry, less than 1. Growth bigger than 1, decay less than 1. You'll see that. Okay, we're just doing a couple examples, so not a lot. We're using the equation at the top of the page. You've got the annual number of Lyme disease diagnoses in California. It says increasing 40% each year since 2015, when 250 were diagnosed. Okay, so you've got increasing by 40%, growth or decay? Growth. The rate is 40%, but I don't want 40%. I want it as a decimal. So if I have 40%, that's the side, I have to move the decimal 2 to the left, or dividing by 100, so that actually gives me a rate of 0.4. Well, it's what we're going to use in a second, 0.4. The initial amount is 250 cases, so that's A. And then we'll figure out the years in a second. So right now we're just going to write an equation in terms of t. All right, y is equal to, what's the initial amount? 250. And then it's 1. It says growth, so I'm going to do 1 plus 0.4 raised to t time. Now, of course, you can go ahead and simplify this a little bit further. You can add 1 plus 0.4, and hopefully you can do that in your head. It is 250, and that would be 1.4, or 1.40 raised to t. Either one of these is a correct equation. I would take either, okay? So then part B, use the function to estimate the number of Lyme disease, cases of Lyme disease diagnosed in 2025. You have 2025, it says since 2015, so how many years? 10? 10 years. So you're going to put t as 10. So y is equal to, 250. And you can use either one of these equations. I'm going to use the one with the 1.4 because we already did it. So 1.4 raised to the 10th. And then you just grab your calculator, which if you don't have one, get one. Get one of your own out or one of mine. So 250 times 1.4. Use the caret key or the exponent key to raise it to the 10th power. And we get 7,231. Should I have a decimal? Okay, well, we're talking about cases. What are we talking about? Who's being diagnosed? People. Okay, so should we have decimals of people? No. Okay, just to clarify. The number after the decimal is 0.3, so 4 below, let it go. So we're going to round it to approximately 7,231 cases. You notice I use that squiggly equal sign because we're rounding. Questions on that? Best word problems we do all year. Okay. The value of a mechanic's car lift depreciates. Do you know what that means? Loses value. Depreciates by 15%. A mechanic shop purchased the lift new for $2,800. So if I have 15%, that's not the rate. The rate is as a decimal. So move the decimal 2 to the left, and my rate is actually what? 0.15. The A value, or the starting amount, is 2,800. Okay, so y is equal to my starting amount, 2,800. I am depreciating or losing value, so I'm going to do 1 minus the rate, which is 0.15 and putting a 0 on front just to make sure we're not confused. And we're not doing anything for time yet, so we'll put t. Because you guys are smart cookies, we're going to go ahead and simplify it a little bit because the first skill in Delta Math today, you have to go backwards and figure this out. So that would give me 0.85 raised to t time. Same thing, just a little bit simpler, okay? Good. Okay, you can see right now, this one was growth because it's greater than 1. This one is decay because it's less than 1. So use the function to determine how much the shop should expect to sell it for in 3 years. So what's t? 3? Okay. Plug it in, 2,800. And I'm going to use the one that we simplified a little bit, so 0.85 raised to the third. If you wanted to put 1 minus, like, if you want to put this in your calculator exactly as is, you just have to make sure you put it in parentheses, okay? So I'll just type it in, 2,800 times 0.85 raised to the third. Should I have decimals? Money? Do I have decimals? Yeah, how many? 2. Dollars, so, because you have cents, right? $1,719.55. That what you guys have? Okay, just make sure I didn't mess it up. I don't have a key in front of me. Okay. The last thing today is compound interest. So same idea, still using the initial amount, what's the rate, what's the time, but we're going to go ahead and make it a little bit more interesting because you'll have a number of times per year it's compounded. So interest on savings-oriented products, like things like loans. I feel like this is a run-on sentence. I don't really know what's happening, but this is supposed to say compound interest is interest earned or owed on the initial balance and that was accrued in previous periods. The big deal here is that it's over specified intervals, and what you just did only happens once per year. So this is growth and decay once per year. This will be multiple times a year. So if you want to hop over to the next page, I actually have this on my wall from college algebra right now, conveniently. The n value is the only thing that's different really here. So n, like number of times per year. Monthly. There are 12 months in a year. So if my number of times per year, if I say monthly, then you need to put 12 for n. What about daily? How many per year? 365. Okay, semi-annual, a little bit trickier. Like if a store is running a semi-annual sale, that happens twice a year. Weekly, do you know how many weeks in a year? You should. 52. Okay, quarterly. How many quarters in a year? 4. And then bi-monthly means every other month. So 6. So that'll be your n is the number of times per year. Everything else you see here is the same. Like what's the starting amount? The starting amount here is called the principal, P. Same idea though. R is the rate as decimal. T's time. Okay, we'll do 2 examples. Okay, Laura deposited $12,000, that's her starting amount, into an account that earns 8% interest. How much money will she have in 5 years? If the interest is compounded quarterly, what's n? 4. What's the rate? It's 8%. So if you need to write it down, 8%, I'm going to move that decimal 2 to the left. The empty spot gets filled with a 0, so the rate is 0.08. Okay, so is it A, right? Yeah, A. Yeah. How are there 52? What are we doing? Okay. The initial amount is $12,000, so that goes in the front. You do not have to memorize this equation. I will give it to you, you just have to know how to use it. So 1 plus the rate, which is 0.08, it has to be as a decimal, divided by n, the number of times per year, quarterly. So 4 raised to nt, which is 4 times t, so 4 times, put it in parentheses, 4 times how many years? 5. Okay. If I'd left it in terms of t, you would say 4t. I didn't do that. You could type this in your calculator all at once. I like to simplify it just a little bit if I can. So 1 plus 0.08 divided by 4, that would get me 1.02. And obviously 4 times 5 is 20. So that just makes it a little bit nicer. And then you can type it in 12,000 times 1.02 raised to the 20th power. It would get me a lot of money. $17,831.37. Make sure you have a dollar sign. Make sure you have 2 decimal places because this is money. Okay? Did we get that? If you're not getting it, it's a calculator issue. So talk to me, I'm assuming at least. Some of you have calculators that like do fractions and do exponents and stuff and make it look like this. Most calculators you have to be clever with your parentheses, so be careful. Okay, last one. You invest $750 into an account that pays 3% interest, compounded weekly. How much after 20 years? Okay, so the 2 things that you kind of have to pay attention to are what's the rate? It's 3%. Then what is my rate? Move it to the left. The rate is, what do you got? 0.03. Compounded weekly, how many times per year? 52. Okay. All right. So the initial amount, no, sorry, A is the, I don't even know, the balance. Does it really matter? We're equaling to something here. We're getting a total. Okay, so $750 is your principal, and then I do 1 plus the rate, 0.03, divided by 52. My number of times per year raised to NT, so 52 times, wow, 20. Okay, you could try and simplify this. If I try to do the middle part here, 1 plus 0.03 divided by 52, you're going to see it's a crazy decimal. I don't want you to round as you go. So on this one, will you try and type it in your calculator all at once? You just have to use parentheses where I've written parentheses. Because if you don't, and you instead like raise it to 52, times 20 without parentheses, it will do it. You will get the wrong answer. So unless your calculator is really savvy with how it sets things up. Mine's not. So you could multiply 52 times 20 first, or you just type it in with parentheses. So 750 times 1 plus 0.03 divided by 52. Okay, you will know you've done it in your calculator correctly if you get this. 1,366.35. I always forget my dollar sign. Okay? If you are not getting that, then it's probably a parentheses issue, so please talk to me.